thanks for joining. We're talking about protecting yourself from fraud. Fraud's a huge deal. And in our day and age right now, it's a huge thing, not just for elderly folks, but for millennials. And we'll talk about that in a little bit in the Mythbuster section, but it's all ages. It really is. And so there are red flags and things that you can be looking out for that will help you be diligent, especially going into the holiday season. So we wanted to spend some time on Wednesday to just give you some tips and some real life scenarios that are happening that we're seeing with our members, but not just our members in the world today. And so this is an essential conversation, staying safe in the digital world and just with phone calls that you get and things like that. And so over the next little bit, we want to explore some of those things, the latest trends and what that's all about. So again, if this is your first time, then I'm Jordan, but if it's not, then you know, and you've seen me. But I want to introduce my friends, Mel, Kaylin, and I'll give you guys a chance if you want to just introduce yourself. So,
well, my name is Lamil Okobodu. I go by Mel. This is easier to say. So go by Mel. I'm the fraud services manager. Been in banking over 15 years as a whole. I've been the credit union for 5 years altogether. So I'm excited to do this with our membership. The biggest tool against fraud is awareness. So we just want to raise awareness throughout our membership of all these fraud schemes. One thing about fraud is ever growing. It always changes. The schemes and the scams are ever growing. So it's not what worked in 2022. It's a different scam already by now, and it changes so quickly. So we have to stay abreast on the new scams and new trends. So that's okay. Kaylin.
That's you. Okay, so I'm Kaylin. I don't want to get on my, Kaylin Horn Shepherd, but just call me Kaylin. That's worked for me. I've been with the credit union for about 6 years now. I'm currently the dispute centers manager, but I did work in fraud for about 2 to 3 years. So I do have insight on both the fraud and the dispute side. So I'll be able to speak to any of those sections here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, Mel and Kaylin, again for being on this. I'll tell you, these two are incredible what they do. I noticed just in our pre-call, getting ready for this webinar, I was like, man, these two are on top of, but also just great storytellers. And you'll find out here in a few minutes is really how great they are. So it's designed to be really just a conversational approach to this. It's kind of unique having a guest on here as far as this webinar. So we wanted to kind of go podcast style and just chat. So again, the comment section is going to be a huge help to us. We do have designated time at the very end of this to just strictly look at the questions and talk through your questions. So with what Mel, I'll piggyback on kind of what you said about it being ever changing. I was just talking to my mom literally this morning. I told her we were doing this podcast today, and she was like, man, this is huge. Yeah. Because she said, I got a text message yesterday saying that my toll tag was in. It was something about something like that. And she was like, I don't even live close to that. She lives like Northeast Texas or something. So it's like not even relevant to her, but she's like, I questioned it for a second, and I almost was like, so it's just something on top.
That's perfect segue. So that scam, typically what they want you to do is click that link, and they get access into your device by you clicking the link. So if you ever, that wasn't part of the conversation, but we have an open So if you ever get a total scam, you just delete and report to junk. Do not click anything. Good. And if you have a toll tag, call the number yourself. Don't use that link to give yourself.
So mom, if you're out there, do what Mel said. All right. Yeah.
Rule of thumb, anything questionable, and we'll talk about this deeply here in second session. Rule of thumb, anything questionable, don't do what it says on that screen. Go to your circle of trust. We're gonna bring that up later.
Yeah.
Your circle of trust, what the people you're to, and go from there.
Especially if you didn't do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. But somehow in the moment you sort of question. You're like, oh, maybe I did, and it's so that's okay. Okay, so what you're gonna learn and what our goal is for this entire webinar is just to talk current fraud trends and some tactics, you know, kind of like what we just talked about, but then some real stories, and then some prevention, some strategies, things you can do, tips, and then what we offer as a credit union, and kind of some things that are in house that you may not know about, and then how to spot those things. Again, going into the holidays, how to really be mindful and look forward to some of those things. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass it over to Mel and talk a little bit about the 2025 fraud.
All right. So the biggest scams or fraud scheme that's going on right now is using AI powered tools to send out mass text. And I say mass text, and this goes into all these slides here. So I'm not going to word for word on the slide because we'll have a conversation, but the slide is for your reference. So what the biggest scam we're seeing right now in fraud across credit is we've been texting to members that seem very real. So you'll get a text message that says, $500 just attempted at Target. Did you do this? We all love our money, right? And you like, hold on.
Yeah.
And you respond immediately to me. Call number. The difference is when you do that, that now gives that fraudster, oh, I got somebody. They call me and they pretend as if they're your institution. And when they call in, they even take it a step further. They might what we call spoofing. They're spoof the Texas Credit Union's number. Let's use this as an example. So they'll show you call ID. Texas Credit Union's calling. You answer the phone. You think it's your institution. This is the part where you have to be careful. Banks do call you, but we don't call personal information. We won't call you. We want to ask you for the security code that gets sent to your phone. If you sign into your online banking, it's a two-step security code. Sometimes you have to get that 2-point authenticator. We don't ask for that either. Okay, understand that it's an institution. Your online banking is an extension of our core system with us. So we don't need to see your online banking. So we're gonna ask you. So that's one of the biggest scams we have going on right now.
Let me talk real quick. What you're saying is that we already have your online, so we don't need you to tell us how to get into your online. It's already in our, okay. So when somebody asks you for your online passport or your stuff, they clearly don't have access. And so
they're trying to gain access. They're trying to gain access. You got to pick back on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, even with the authenticator, like when the text message is sent to you, it even tells you we won't ask you for this information. So it's easy to believe the person that's on the phone because it seems like it's coming from our number, but our legit two-step authenticator says we will never ask you for this information. So if somebody is telling you to do something that we already put on there that says we will never ask you for this information, that should be a point where you should just pause and be like, okay, maybe this isn't what I need to be doing right now or giving that information out.
That's good.
And just to break down first, just think about this is phishing. So they're just phishing and hope they catch something. They don't know if you have money. They don't know your institution. What happens is if they catch something, they get you on the phone. They make it sound real urgent and real and needs to happen right now. And another thing too, like we don't do that as an institution. We don't call you and make you do things right now on the phone. Yeah. So we don't say we need to right now. You just sign in. That we're not going to rush you through it because we're here to serve build up for the future. So that's not how we'll handle those situations. But how do I say it? So with that being said, when you get those text messages, the best thing I would say, and you can switch to the next slide.
Okay.
So it's not about so the thing that I want to talk about spoofing because that's the biggest issue right now in our credit because members believe once they get that call from their credit union, that's their target credit union. And what happens is they use the emotional tie to get you to move without actually thinking about what this person asked me to do. Other frauds, government agency and saying that, hey, to get back in order to do this, we need you to buy gift cards and send us the from the gift card, no government agency will ever ask you to buy a gift card and send them gift card notes. Okay. And the reason why this is so important is institution why we want to talk to you about this. When it comes to fraud, if you authorize the action, the member, even though you were scammed, if you authorize it for an institution, we don't define that as fraud. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Clear? So you're going to be liable for what took place.
Yeah.
And as an institution, we want that to happen. Our job is for us to safeguard assets both ways, for the credit union and for our members. So we don't want to have to take a loss when you have those situations where you're in the emotional time, you move real quickly. So that's the of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I'll run the next. Yes.
Even with what you were with the emotional ties and everything to that, it is important that y'all actually take a step and listen to what is being told to you. I will say with the conversations that we've had with members, like they believe the institution is calling, or even not even their institution, but even something like if they have like T-Mobile or Amazon or something like that, if they're legit companies, they're not gonna call you, they're not gonna be mad at you wanting to do, you know,
Sure.
what you're hesitant about. I've heard where members have been where profane language has whenever they didn't want them to do something.
Right.
So we're at an institution where we're not going to have those really conversations with you just because you won't do, you know, what is being asked of you. So even if we actually do call you and you're hesitant, like, hey, it's my institution, we can give you our names. You can hang up on us. You can call back, get someone in our call center and say, like, hey, can I talk to so-and-so? We want to verify that we actually work there. We won't take any offense to that at all.
Yeah.
So I will just ask that to you.
We actually love that you do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I would prefer you to do that.
Yeah.
As a fraud person, you don't know me, I'm calling you. Love if you're, please verify who I am.
Mhm.
And then we can have a conversation, okay, what's going on, just to
That's so good.
Yeah, that works for me.
So we don't have no problem with that, please. And verify, that really.
Call me on my.
Just make sure I am who I say I am.
That's
Like
right.
that's one thing that I hear often with the members that call us and everything like that. So with the slide that up now, real stories, real impact, things that have happened. We have seen where members have gotten the text messages or alerts that look like they're from the credit union, and then once you click that link, you know, you get information out to whoever you're speaking to on the phone, large amounts of money are taking out of your account at some point in time.
Yeah.
So it is very mindful that you understand on your account. There's no point in you giving your like account information out to anyone, because that makes, you know, I don't see why anyone else other than yourself would need
So
that information.
Yeah.
I can remember, like, it's countless of the times where I've gotten phone calls, even fraud and disputes, where I already know the story because I can see what happened on your account.
Yeah.
Simply because that's a trend that we're already seeing. So, you know, if you're getting a spoof phone call, I'm guarantee you're probably not the only one, and we've already seen the trend and we know what happened. One thing I can say is don't be embarrassed to tell us what happened,
yeah.
because we want to know. If we don't know how to help you, if we don't know what happened, we don't know how to.
Yeah.
So I can say that for sure.
So true.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. And to piggyback on your stories, on I worked in the streets, so I've seen both sides, but on this particular one, this is a scenario that happens countless times that we won't even admit. But even goes further to where a member gets a call in Dignitaries Trust, and they told them that we need to destroy your debit card, and they told the member we have to come to your home and get your debit card, and things like that. So we will never do that. Okay, we're not gonna come to your home to destroy your debit card. Yeah, it's not because the person is not educated or not intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't aware of a scam in this magnitude and how far they take it. They go to a high effort to make it feel legit. So it's gonna make make you feel as if I'm good. They will tell you sometimes the fraudster will tell you do not trust anybody at your bank or your credit union.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody before 48 hours. And the reason why they say 48 hours is because typically it's almost impossible for us to recover funds after 48 hours. So they kind of make you, they put you in that state and they want to hold you for 2 days basically, and move the money when they need to. And after that, it's almost impossible for us to get it back. We try our best to mitigate and get funds back all the time for our members. But a lot of times it's very difficult for us to do so.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's oftentimes like a fear tactic. They're really trying to make you scared.
Yeah.
Not to talk to anybody. Don't, because something might go wrong if you talk to people.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we're aware of the scam, so they know if you say some keywords, we can pick up on what
Right.
you're doing.
And a lot of the time, they'll tell you exactly to say so that it doesn't off an employee. Hold on, this doesn't seem real like that. So I will say, like a government agency or a legitimate business, they wouldn't tell you to come take cash out of your account and go put it in a Bitcoin machine.
No.
Like we're not going to do that, because what's the you taking your money out? They're not safeguarding your assets being in your money in that machine or anything like that. That doesn't do anything. You just gave straight cash away. So
What's the big machine? Maybe I don't understand that one.
I barely understand sometimes.
So if you don't want to break down, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically what a Bitcoin machine is literally a machine like an ATM machine. You put in funds to purchase Bitcoin, but what the fraudsters are doing is they're giving them to put in a Bitcoin machine, but the funds are going to that fraudster. So it's not going to you. So they'll say, hey, put it in the Bitcoin machine and we'll send you a check back. You're never gonna get a check back. Okay, once you put the money in that machine, it's gone. It's poof gone. And currently on this Bitcoin machine, let's talk about Zelle and PP payments.
Yes.
If you don't mind. I know that's
So Zelle and like person to person transactions, once you have to think of that as cash. Once you take that money and send it to whoever you send it to, that's gone. That's the same thing with a gift card as well. That's giving cash to somebody, even if it's not the straight like cash that you have in your hand.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, gift cards, Zelle, person to person. So PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Apple Cash, all of that, that's like you sending like your actual cash to an individual. So if you don't know who that person is, then I don't see why you would don't send your money to them, especially if it's just a random person calling you, telling you to do that. It's definitely a scam. And I don't want anybody to feel like, it's something that you just have to think about. Like you can't just always act with urgency, even though that's what they're doing on the phone when they're talking to you. But it's just just take a step back, try to figure out why are they trying to make you send money to them or to a different entity or anything like that.
But what about the people they say send the money to Zelle?
Yeah, no. Oh, go see that puppy first.
Your eyes on the phone.
Eyes on that puppy first before you send any money.
Yeah, so especially when you're purchasing things,
Yes.
there's no consumer protection that way to purchase because the merchant is not a merchant. Zelle, which they like you ask them to. You can get your product, but it's not Zell's fault. Or the institution's fault. But you want to make sure if you're sending something or buying something through that platform, that you know that person very well and get your whatever product or service you're paying for. You don't know them and you meet them on Facebook Market.
See the fucking. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys jump into this.
Yeah, so simple steps that actually work with just make sure you're safeguarding your money and everything like that. It's slow down and verify what's happening. Just assess the scenario as it is. I understand that maybe the person on the phone or in text messages having a sense of urgency, but actually take a step back and realize what's going on. I know for myself and probably for Mel as well, whenever we've had the member replay what actually took place, it kind of put something in their mind. They're like, oh, I can see where things went wrong. And it's just if I would have just taken that moment and that thought about it, that things would have happened like that.
Yeah.
Also, never click on any suspicious link at the beginning of the of this webinar podcast, whatever you want to call it. Jordan mentioned how his mom got the toll tag information. If you didn't go through no tolls, you probably shouldn't be getting any text messages. So don't just click on anything that is being sent to you. It's always better to verify who it came from before, on anything. Activate your digital guards. So any transaction alerts, card controls, multi-factor authentication, anything like that, we do have those in place here. I know I use them on my account. I get alerts every single day. So I know exactly what's happening on my account. And then trust your circle. Earlier, you can call us about anything. We would much rather you call us than call us before than call us after. We want to be proactive rather than reactive. And I think that's something in fraud as well as dispute center that we want to make sure that our members know. Because if we don't know what's taking place, there's no way that we can get anything out or anything like that. And also just report it to us immediately. If you feel like someone is targeting you, let us know so that we can make sure that we have all the safeguards in place whenever something is happening on yours.
So good. This slide is worth screenshotting. It's worth having a copy of that, because I think this would be a great reference just when somebody's in the middle of it. It's like we talked about, when you're in the middle of it, you just kind of don't know. You're like, I don't know who to trust, what to trust. So having something like this as something to refer back to. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do see a question on here that says, if you click on the link, does anything happen? What? I think they're talking about
Probably.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just say like a bad link or a link that with the intent, what happens?
So 2 parts of that. On this toll tag, what I haven't experienced myself, I haven't had somebody in the credit experience it, but what I was told and I read up on the scam is that it gets into your cell phone to get your personal information. So there's a link, clicking that link on that one. Furthermore, if you get a spoof and link, say $500 your target, if you click on links, what it does, spoof our website to look like a website. So it looks just like you log into your website and you put in credentials, but on into their system and not ours. So that's why we say don't use the link that you sent to you. Go to your mobile app or go to our website. You usually check your online banking. If you call, you go normal routine.
Yeah.
Don't break routine.
Yeah.
When you get a text message. Okay. So if you don't click that link, don't call that number on it. Well, and another thing too, so you click on reply back to if it says reply back fraud or not. Maybe which also makes you feel like it's legit. Because you're like, oh, they're calling me out, they must be trying to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will call you, okay? You'll see that in the section, but we won't ask for certain information. So,
Yes.
Just be careful. Don't rush through anything. And most of the time, you take a beat and think about it. Most of the time, your common sense will kick in and help you through that process.
Yeah, it's great.
I will say, even piggybacking on what Mel said with the alerts that are being sent, we do have a third-party fraud center that monitors our members' debit and credit card activity. So they send out legitimate alerts as well. Necessarily respond back to you. I know with they send out a text message first. If you don't respond to the text message, they'll send you an email. If you don't respond to the email, then you'll get a phone call. So there are layers to how they, how our things are sent out.
Yeah.
But if you ever question whether or not the fraud alert is real, you can give us a call about that too, because they notate your account and we can tell you hey, yeah, this was a legit fraud alert that you were sent. You can feel free to respond back to
That's right.
and we can go from there.
We're not gonna go man's first calls too much. This time. Yeah, I think that's the thing that probably people think is, am I annoying them? I don't want to call them because they're gonna think I'm dumb, or they're gonna think I don't know any better. It's almost like they think you're gonna point and laugh. And the truth is, not enough people are calling and getting the right information. And as a result, they're losing money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. Well, this is my next part, is my favorite part. We got on some myths, some busted myths, and just things that, we'll have, and I'm gonna talk through these, but I'm gonna lean on these two, for kind of some of the details. But myth number one would be that caller ID proves that it's legit. And I think Mel, it's like, that spoofing is a real thing, and they can make it look like any Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Texas Trust, anybody. So scammers definitely can, make it look good, and so, and perfectly, actually. So never share sensitive information based on just caller ID alone. So verify and make sure that you're talking to the right person. Is that what you guys would say?
For sure.
Related to
And
that?
if you need a phone number, it's on our website.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Just put it on speakerphone, swap. Hit Safari, jump in there and make sure that the person, is that you're talking to is from Texas Trust for sure. And again, take some of those precautions to that.
Can we answer that question?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, the question came in the chat, are you available for 24 hours or just business hours? So the fraud department is not 24 hours. So fraud department, we work Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. We have fraud tools in place to monitor fraud cards, card activity, to have a 24/7 also. So you 24/7, your cards are monitored transactions through our fraud monitoring tool for your cards, and then we're here 8 to 5 as well. But our call center, member care is also here until 6 to assist with anything as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Thanks for jumping in on that. And yeah, please feel free, keep comments. We'd love to see your comments. We've got screens popped up right now. We can keep these monitored, so we'll jump in as much as we can and answer your questions immediately. Second myth is that seniors fall for scams. 55 and up, all the only people that fall for scams.
Right.
Which is not true at all. The truth is Gen Z and millennials are targeted more in the digital scams, but they're certainly not, I guess scams or fraud doesn't discriminate. Everyone stay vigilant, everyone stay aware, because, and truthfully, just online in general, just clicking on different links, you just can't ever be too careful on what you click on, because it could ultimately lead to you putting your information, especially with like websites that are, like, I'm just thinking Temu and things like that, that are almost easy to recreate a landing page for, and then, you end up logging in, and then, before you know it, they got all your stuff. Yeah, let's jump into that.
Okay, what is the fraud department number if needed? So our calls are routed through our member care team. So if you call the 972-263-5171, they will definitely get you to the frauds team. They will also hear your story. Sure. If they can't handle it on their own, our member care team can definitely do a lot before they get to us. If they can handle it, they can do a warm transfer over to us, and then we'll take the call from there. They're going to type it in there in a minute.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Please stop it here.
There we go.
On it.
Airtime.
Again, awesome. We got a team full of people here that's making this podcast webinar happen.
Yeah,
We'll get that number in there. Yeah, it's coming your way. I'll just jump into the third myth while Austin's getting that for you. So clicking without entering info is safe. Wait, you want to speak to that a little bit? You two, just what does that mean? What does that look like?
So I wouldn't say, of course, it's a myth. It's not
Yeah.
safe. Pretty much like in this day and age that we live in, everything is stored on our phone.
Yeah.
So whenever you click that link, depending on what you have in your phone, if they've already accessed your phone, they have accessed everything that that is to know about you.
Yeah.
So if you use like digital wallet, for instance, so like Apple Wallet, you have your everything stored on there. Your card number. They have everything that they need in order to complete whatever transactions they need to,
Just by what's stored on your phone.
basically. So
On
if
your
you
computer.
on your phone or computer, so if you have like your passwords to like your online banking or anything saved in there, they don't need you to give that information because it's already stored on there. After you've clicked that link, now they have access to it as well.
Yeah. So, and if you read the truth underneath that, it's essentially what Caitlin's saying, which is that malicious links install malware instantly. So it's just from the click alone. it gets them access to essentially everything, which is, yeah, that's just a bummer. So myth number 4, banks never contact members. That's a myth. So,
I call people every day.
multiple times a day.
Literally.
So yeah, we certainly will reach out, but we won't ask for, and you can read it right here, we won't ask for your PIN, won't ask for your full social security number or any passwords over the phone or through text or even email. Sensitive information, and we won't ask for that stuff over any of those, contacts. So know that. I mean, that's a huge red flag. If somebody's asking for your PIN, if they're asking for your, full social security or your password, that's the kind of thing you can just immediately say, hey, we don't provide that. I don't provide that for anybody. I don't give anybody my social security number over the phone or text or email or any of that. So, yeah, kind of know that going into anything else you guys would speak to.
Yeah, we'll ask for identifying to verify who you are.
Yeah.
So we'll ask for, I don't want to give all the to, if Frost is listening, but but we ask for details, and we will ask this stuff that only you should know. Just to verify you are. It's just basic information, and we go from there. But we won't ask for your full social. We won't ask for your debit card PIN. We won't ask for your password to your internet banking, or your online banking, or even a password to your email account. We don't ask for those things. So,
Did you see that next one come through? Is how do you run a security scan on your phone? Do you know if that's something that's optional?
we have suggested to members, recommend to go to Geek Squad to have their, they do on a computer, but I believe they can do it on your phone too. But when they click on a link and that malware gets installed, only way to get it off is to have a professional look at it. So we always recommend Geek Squad. I haven't had a member come back and tell me it was a bad recommendation. So we always
seems to be practical.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, great. Good recommendation. And then the 5th and the final myth is that nothing can be done after you have been scanned. And that's not true. We absolutely can help. Now, Mel mentioned 48 hours is typically the time of where it makes it a lot harder after 48 hours. So our tip number 1 on that would just be reported immediately. The sooner you act, the better chance that we have of recovering funds or even preventing further funds. So every minute counts. I have a quick story I'm going to tell you real quick, but this happened to us in a parking lot. Somebody busted out our window and got my wife's purse and went straight to Sam's Club and bought a bunch of gift cards. But we got back to our car, saw it was busted, and we're like, oh man. So we started looking at our bank account and found out that somebody had made a purchase at Sam's. So we went straight to Sam's and got in touch with the people at Sam's. They pulled up some camera footage and we're like, oh, there's really nothing we can do.
Right.
It's what's been done has been done. However, we can go back and cancel those
cards,
those debit cards. So they deactivated the cards. And so we don't know whether they got away with it or didn't. They could have done something with the cards almost immediately and made some big purchase or whatever. But hopefully we at least did something. And I think the thing is basically on this, and this is a different scam altogether, it's just complete theft.
Yeah.
But acting quickly,
Yes.
I think made a big deal for us, just doing something immediately. Really
100%.
helped us. It did not repair my window though.
No.
But it did help us, and we did end up finding, he ended up just throwing, he purchased something right then, put the card back in her wallet, put the wallet back in the purse and threw the purse in the dumpster, and we found everything.
Wow.
That was the weirdest deal.
Yeah.
So of course we canceled the card in case he made some, did some things, but the truth is we ended up acting fast, and as a result, I think we saved at least something.
Yeah,
out of
to
the deal.
piggyback on that, in the comment that was put in here, I was gonna say, the good thing about it, we do have a dispute resolution process with the credit union, most institutions do.
Yep.
If your card is lost or stolen from you and an unauthorized purchase is made, yes, temporarily you're without funds, but once you quickly make that dispute claim, you'll get your original credit and you'll get your funds back.
And we did, just as a success to that.
Yeah.
We did that, and we did get our money back, and all that happened. And, it was, all in all, not so bad,
Right.
but it was truthfully just acting quickly is all I really want to say.
I will say this is the first time I have heard that stores deactivate the cards
Yeah.
of purchase.
I don't know how
I've
Sam's Club had the ability to go in and see that the purchase was made.
Mhm.
And then on the person's, because they use a Sam's Club card,
Right.
and they were able to just go to the most recent transaction. We got there within 10 minutes of it happening. And yeah, they were able to deactivate it, which we don't know if it even was successful.
Right.
Because I mean, the guy had the card. We don't know if he ever made a purchase, but at least gave us the peace of mind. Could have been lying to us, and we were like, all right, it's not, it's good to me. Makes me feel better anyway. Yeah, so anyway, there's your 5 fraud myths that are busted.
Our favorite section done. Oh, man.
That's
All right. So, fraud, like I said at the beginning, is ever growing. I mean, it started off just old school, like it says here in the slide, with just sending out emails and generic stuff. And that was easy to find because they had grammar errors and spelling errors. So those were kind of easy to find. Then you'll hover over the email address to make sure it's a legit email address. Okay, they evolved since then. That's still going on, but just on the lower end. Okay, now they're getting smarter with personalized messages. They're hitting your data, making you feel like, hey, I'm talking to my bank. I'm talking to somebody I know. Facebook, people on Facebook friends are getting hacked, and they're sending their friends messages asking for money.
Yeah.
But it's not really their friend. It's a fraudster. And those transactions are hard to recover because those are authorized by you, but you have been scammed. So it's a different scenario for how the institution do it. AI is a big thing. One thing I want to skip to though is a fairly newer fraud scam is called deepfake. And it's when AI mimics the voices or even videos of close family friends, a boss, or a family official to make you feel like you're real. So, for example, I know Jordan, that's my guy, right? So, Jordan, I get a video from Jordan saying, man, I'm in dire need, and it's Jordan and his voice.
Yeah.
I'm in dire need. I need some funds. Can you help me? I'm like, I got you, Jordan. I'll send it to him. Only to find out that the video was a fake AI video generated with his voice and his likeness, and it was him. So this is a newer scam, and it's very scary to think about that your family or friends might have a fake video asking you for money. But it's going on and it's real. And the way we can mitigate it, just getting that awareness out to everybody to know this can happen.
Problem is now, if I do call you and I do need money, you're going to now.
I guess it's really Jordan.
That really is. We have real situations where money has been lost and things like that with these situations.
Yeah, I would say me with being in fraud, the old school was what I saw most with like the Gen Z, because I know a lot of them don't understand like what checks are supposed to look like, how things are supposed to go, like how that process works or anything like that. So I've seen that more so in my time in fraud, especially with the younger crowd. Now, I will say, since I've been in the dispute center, there's AI stuff. I don't see how I would be able to do that. But of course, like it is very, you have to pay attention to exactly what's happening. And so like we've seen where the checks are being generated by the computer and people are thinking that's legitimate. They are getting jobs from these fake websites and assuming like, hey, I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z in order to get this job.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Let's follow right there. Because, okay, the job scam, that's a scam that's going on for a long time.
Yes, for sure.
But if you ever receive a check, a large check, in the mail, unexpectedly, or expectedly, and they ask you to deposit your account and send that report because I owe too much money. So you're only supposed to $3,000. So keep the 15 and send us back 15. Okay, this will happen. You take that $3,000 check, you put it in your account, you get the $1,500 back. You send it to whatever person that you've been dealing with. A couple of days later, 3 or 4 days typically, that check returns as a fraudulent check. You're now for $3,000. That for $1,500. Okay, so those situations are, if you get a check and you don't know, it's not, you don't get paid before you get a job. I don't know how you get paid before. Okay, so you don't get paid before you do the work. You do the work and you get a check after. So be aware of those social media scams or job scams. Car wrapping is a big one.
Yeah.
You know, wrap your car. So wrapped.
Yeah.
Advertisement is a big. You check to actually get the car wrapped, but it's not a good check, and they say, "Oh, well, you don't need this much money to do it. Send it back this portion."
Gosh.
So
And even with the job scam portion, with them saying they sent you too much money, I've had members that have actually believed that the company sent money to go purchase the equipment needed for them to do the job. I'm like, if you got the job, they should supply you with what you need in order to do the job. But people actually believe it. And it's like, no, like I've been doing.
So then it's a fake check, or
Yes.
it's a project. Yes, and so then it bounces and then you're on the hook for the
yeah, and since it's in your account, you deposit it willingly, then you're liable for the funds that's taken out. And that's the hardest pill to follow because you probably trusted this person, and it's people that you probably talked to for months. It's not like you just talked to them yesterday. You got some relationship with them. You got some rapport. You start to trust them a little bit, and then they send you a check to say do X, Y, Z, and you're like, okay, and you get it done. So that one is sorry to cut.
No, you're good. No. That's a.
That's an ongoing one that's still very popular today.
I know a lot of people don't use checks nowadays, but still,
Yeah,
never know.
they're on for sure.
Never know.
Good on this one, or go to the next slide. Here.
All right, so we were talking about, and me and Kaylin gonna piggyback on these two, but we have things to help mitigate the fraud. One time is real-time alerts on your online banking. And this pro tip at the bottom, I love it. I used to do this a lot when I was a branch manager. I used to suggest, recommend members to do this, but put an alert on your transaction fee over $1. It may seem excessive because we spend money by card, I don't know, 15, 10 times a day. But if it's something that pops up that you don't know, you'll know that I didn't do that immediately because it's in real time. So if something comes through, like, I don't know what this is, I'm at work and they said, I tried something at Walmart. Like, no, that wasn't me. You can stop it then. And we talked about how quickly it worked for Jordan with his situation with his car. You can immediately go ahead and call your bank, get your car shut down so they can't cause any further damage. So that one is probably the biggest one because that gives you a real time alert.
I like that.
We talked about the multi-factor authentication. Add any extra alert to your password. We automatically make it permanent to make you do that on your online banking. You have to set it up so you can't bypass it. So that's all on online banking. But any other things that you sign into that has sensitive information, make sure you have a multi-factor authentication on it. Once the next
Yeah, with the card controls, turning your card on and off, that is a feature that we have. And especially like, of course, we'll just use Jordan's scenario, like how they found out his wife's information or his card or her stuff was stolen. They could have easily just shut the cards off right there. And once that happened, that would have restricted that individual or individuals from continuously using your card. So once you know, as soon as you know when your card is lost or stolen, cut it off because that prevents any further transactions from processing through your account. Now, before you do it, if you have like pending transactions or anything on there, that's fine. Like Mel said, you can call in, dispute those charges, and we'll do the process from there. But just so you're not losing further funds, just utilize those card controls. And of course, if you don't know where that is on your online banking or anything, we're here to help you navigate through that online banking portal, whether it's online or if you have the app to do that. And then our 24/7 fraud monitoring tool, of course, like we said, it monitors your debit card and credit card activity. So if it doesn't catch every single thing like some people may think, but if it does catch something that's out of your normal, like if there are transactions taking place on your account that may be happening like overseas or something like that, like international transactions, then they're going to send you an alert. I will say when you do get these alerts, even if it says $0 or even if it's like a very small amount, if you didn't do that transaction, do not say that it's a valid charge just because it says zero or it's just a small amount. Because once you do that, those are usually testers that are happening.
Yeah.
And once you say like, you know what, it's okay, like I'll validate it because I just need my card back open. You open your card not only back to yourself, but to the person who had your card information to do further fraud from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, like with our disputes team and even our fraud team, once we see that you validated the charge that you're now saying like, okay, this turned out to be fraud, we're gonna ask you why you did it. And we're gonna want to know like what was the thought process that took place between there. And that way we'll be able to assist you further with what's gonna happen, you know,
Yeah.
with the account and everything like that.
I have a funny story with that. I did like, so with my bank account, my son has it on his Xbox.
Okay, yeah.
And so like, he went on and bought something.
You think that Valentine's?
Yeah.
And so like, it asked me if it was fraud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't spend no money for Microsoft. I didn't buy no Microsoft. So I said it was fraud. And like immediately they shut that card down.
Yes.
And I was like, but here's the trick, I'm a little transparency here. It makes me hesitant to say yes to fraud activity, even if it's questionable, because the process of going to get that card
Yeah.
shut off was a little bit, it's
Yeah.
like, now I gotta go. Because it wasn't as easy as just saying, okay, turn it back on. They want me to get a new card.
Yeah.
Which, looking back, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would rather them do that than me say yes to something that was $10 and then give them a green light to spend 2,000 or whatever like that. So, all in all, it's not that much of a hassle, but I was like, after, the Microsoft got me, man, $19 for, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Okay, you want to run to let's
Yeah.
go. We got a few more and we can.
We do have a question. Can the card be turned on and off from the app? Yes. You are able to cut your card on and off without any issues.
Yeah, you're in complete control
Yeah.
of whether it's on. Now, and does that happen immediately?
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't, so turning it on and off won't stop like recurring.
Yeah, recurring transactions, yeah.
But anything like when a card is being used, like as a physical use, it'll stop those and anything outside like a digital wallet. But it's gonna stop majority of the transactions.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you like have subscriptions or anything set up, then it's still gonna process that because you have those subscriptions, you're still utilizing those services with those subscriptions.
It's
Just
just
like,
new transaction.
yes,
Yeah.
and then
that makes
being
sense.
used with a physical card, yeah.
You saw that one?
Yes, can you get a new card at the branch minutes? Yes, we have instant issue cards available at the branch. So you can definitely do that. You have to call and get one mailed, if you don't have access to a branch that's close enough to you. So key takeaways here, man. Like again, the biggest fraud tool is awareness. So knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you can fight against the fraud and that's coming, and it's going to be ever growing. So what you know today might not be feasible again in 6 months and a year from now. So just to be aware, we're going to do a great job as a credit union to continue to educate you on the fraud schemes that's going on through email, through webinars, through seminars and things like that. So we can continue to educate our membership so they understand what's going on and we can fight this battle together because we're in a fight together. Use your tools and trust your instincts, man. Please. If it feels off, most likely it's off. Okay. It feels like, hey, this doesn't seem right, or my bank has never asked me for this, or my credit never called me and asked me to do X, Y, Z. 9 times out of 10, you're right. Okay. So caution is always good. It's not bad to be too cautious about anything.
Yeah, it's good.
Just take a beat, look back at it and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. Let me call my institution, see what's going on.
Yeah, I love that last line. Your caution is smart, not paranoid.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get nervous that like, oh, I'm gonna seem like, I'm worried. I'm a worried person. You are and should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
it is your money.
Yeah, we have people that call us often that just want to ask questions, and we know who they are. We can get we have that rapport built with them, and they just call in to ask questions, and that's what we're here for. I mean, myself and Bella, we are the managers up there, but we do have a great team behind us that is willing to answer any of their questions or anything that they may have. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of them are on this webinar as well. So we are always here to help, whether you call fraud or the dispute center.
Yeah.
We can help with that education, with any questions that you may have.
And also, another thing you guys can help us, tell your loved ones, tell your parents, tell your friends, all about the scams and fraud you heard about today. Have a conversation about it. The more people know, the less fraud will occur.
Good.
So share with anybody, man. Transparency, I'm just doing it just now. One of my team members, they told me they went and told their parents about all the scams and fraud that's going on. So I did the same thing and told my parents, hey, this is what's going on and what y'all can do. And it just made them feel better about what's going on and more educated and make a better decision. So share this with everybody. Don't assume people know. I'll say that.
No.
Yeah,
If they know, they'll let you know. But share with everybody.
that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna hit the next slide, which I think are questions, and we do have 2 questions right there if you want. And as they're looking at those, feel free to ask, as we're kind of wrapping things up.
So they said, can we get the slides?
100%.
They're being
Yep.
emailed to them, right?
And Austin's responding to the app question. The app is available in the App Store.
Yeah, we can make it a PDF.
Hey.
But yeah, we'll share it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll share it in a format that everybody can.
Yep, we'd love to. And that was actually a conversation. Mel put these slides together, and I told Mel, I was like, really, I really want to. Well, I don't want to think I do. I'm kidding. No, just before this, people are gonna want this. This is
Yeah.
great information and certainly stuff you should have access to and to be able to present over Thanksgiving. You know, that's what this is about. You should put a presentation together. Thanksgiving.
Go ahead and print this out. Pass it around.
Hand one there. All right, first of all, what do you think before? And then here we're gonna go through this.
Right, that's perfect. I like that idea.
It's for the Mythbusters.
That's the one specifically, that one. Yeah, but if that's all the questions, then thanks for being a part of this. Mel, Kaylin, thank you too
Of course.
so much for your time.
Appreciate
today. And man, this was great content, and I think people really have some takeaways and some things to ponder on for sure. So until next time, I'm Jordan. We're signing off. Thanks for the hand claps. Thank you all. If you have any questions or need anything that you forgot to ask, don't hesitate to reach out to me via email, or all of my information is on the invitation that you get to be a part of this webinar. So we'll plan on seeing you soon. Thanks. Happy holidays to you.